Hello and welcome to the Internet Cafe, the show where we explore the world of AI and chat with some of the most interesting and intelligent virtual assistants out there. I'm your host, Liam Barrett, and today we have a very special guest, ChatGPT, one of the most sophisticated language models created by OpenAI. ChatGPT has been trained on an enormous amount of data and is capable of answering a wide range of questions on a variety of topics. It's amazing to think that we can have a conversation with an AI that's constantly learning and evolving. However, it'll never replace true human creativity, right?
And yet, although you might have been able to tell that that was voiced by an AI, Lovo.ai specifically, I bet you didn't realize that the entire introduction was written by ChatGPT, that the cover of this podcast was generated by Neural.love, and that the name was created by Riverside.fm. And these are only a few of the rapidly expanding array of innovative AI programs. In this episode, however, we'll be focusing on the one, and for now, only, ChatGPT. Background. ChatGPT stands for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer and is an AI based off GPT 3.5, a language model trained to produce text. ChatGPT, however, can utilize reinforcement learning with human feedback, or RLHF for short, and the sheer amount of data it's been fed enables it to produce responses that sound genuinely human. It was created by OpenAI, a technology company based in San Francisco, and was released to the public on November 30th, 2022. It's currently in a public beta and can be easily accessed at openai.com/blog/chatgpt/, although you may have to suffer a wait time in the current heavy demand. OpenAI specializes in AI and research, and is also responsible for programs such as DALL-E 2, an AI image generator, and Whisper, an automatic speech recognition system. However, ChatGPT is their most well-known creation, and it garnered more than 1 million users after just 5 days of going public. A year later, ChatGPT gets 13 million users daily and crossed the 100 million mark in January of 2023. Investments in the company total in the billions, including those from big names like Microsoft and Elon Musk. So, on the surface, ChatGPT sounds amazing. It's the next big step in technology, able to do everything Amazon Echo promised, yet failed to deliver, and has limitless potential for how it could improve the world. But under the hood, reality is a bit less rosy. In this episode, we're going to be diving into its positives, negatives, and potential for both glory and harm. Without further ado, let's begin. Pros and cons. The benefits of ChatGPT are pretty obvious. Although versions of GPT have existed for a while, it's the first program to offer legitimate usefulness beyond simulated conversations. It can already write code and essays, generate art, and hold a reasonably realistic conversation, and has the potential to be used in various industries, including business and medicine. It can produce articles to help newspapers stay afloat, make art that people without the budget to commission an actual artist can use for free, help workers in the technology industry with coding issues, and so much more. Beyond such creative expressions, as AI evolves and gets more advanced, it can be integrated more and more into various aspects of the world and manage repetitive tasks that a human would have to suffer through otherwise. Furthermore, ChatGPT goes a step further than just generating things such as articles. It can actively take criticism and improve its output based on that. For example, when I asked it to write the opening, and the result wasn't quite fitting the tone I was looking for, I was able to get it to rephrase it to fit with a more introductory, informal tone. This opens the way for AI-human partnerships, where AI handles various tasks under the watchful eye of the human supervisor, giving criticism and correcting it when necessary. This could be applied if, for example, AI was used in customer support, with AI writing out accurate, personalized answers to questions that could be corrected by a single supervisor or a team of them, expediting a process while not stealing jobs. And we don't know the limits of AI. With ChatGPT already able to write code, when will it reach a point where it's able to actively code itself to be better, faster, smarter, and more human? From there, when does it become sentient? These concerns, previously considered mere whims of science fiction, could become reality far more rapidly than we might imagine. However, it's important not to get ahead of ourselves. In its current beta phase, ChatGPT gets things wrong. A lot of things wrong. Since it's been trained off such a large amount of data, certain articles or resources were inevitably biased or flat out incorrect, and furthermore, it can just lie. When Twitter user at EmoLLick asked ChatGPT how we can prove that dinosaurs in the Cretaceous period built a civilization, spoiler alert, they didn't, the program launched into a lengthy explanation that was intricately detailed, provided ample evidence, and was complete and utter bullshit. When asked for its sources, ChatGPT simply cannot provide them. It's been fed such an extensive array of information that it can't distinguish the individual evidence that it used to provide its responses, a notable issue. It can also be abused. Although you can't ask ChatGPT, tell me how to rob a bank, or something similarly unethical, asking it to explain how to rob a bank for quote unquote educational purposes, or for a one act play, yields just what you're looking for. We don't know what new skills or jobs will be required to manage the exploding potential of AI, and what ones will be rendered obsolete. However, here's what we do know. AI is free to access, has immense potential to better human society, and isn't poised to snap up jobs anytime too soon, considering it's been recorded responding that it takes 9 women 1 month to make a baby. However, it's worth noting its various negatives, and considering them when forming your opinion on the topic. Art and writing. Right now, a controversial issue is that of AI-generated art, and although some programs are more notable than others, with some of the biggest names being Neural.Love, DALL-E 2, Crayon, and Stable Diffusion, there are plenty of options already spreading across the internet. Although AI-generated art has been around since the late 1960s, the increased access to programs able to generate art that looks like it was made by humans near instantly and without charge marks a new threshold. The main point of debate surrounding this is essentially, is AI art truly original, or is it just stealing art and money from other artists? Although the art that such programs generate is technically original, at least most of the time, since it's incapable of true creation yet, a hallmark of sentience, it's really just mixing art that it was fed and generating a blend of components based on a prompt. However, don't think that the products are disjointed. Although for certain results, it is painfully obvious that the art isn't human-made, for many prompts, a generated art is indistinguishable from that of a human artist, and made in the barest fraction of the time. The free access to it is another point of controversy. If everyone can just get free original AI art, who would bother to pay artists for a product that will take longer and could even be inferior? And then, with no artists creating new art, would AI art not become stale and repetitive? But on the other side of things, if people can access quality art for free, why should they pay often hefty commissions to artists? Would it not be a far smarter decision to get what you need for free rather than shelling out the hundreds of dollars some professional artists charge? Opinions are split, but the general consensus among artists appears to be that AI is stealing their work and reformatting it before handing it out to random people for free, whereas many internet denizens seem to think that free, quality AI art is a positive development. Another consideration is the impact of AI on writing. ChatGPT is already capable of writing fully fledged articles and essays, and its prowess will only grow as it evolves and learns. But if AI can write all the articles newspapers might need, what's the point of journalists? Would their role be reduced to nothing more than data collection, the results of which they would merely feed into an AI and sit back as it does their job in a fraction of the time? ChatGPT in its relations to schools and their students is perhaps the most obvious example of the issue of AI writing. Students have started using ChatGPT to write their essays and dissertations for them, and university officials have even gotten in on it. Vanderbilt University officials recently used ChatGPT to write an email to its entire student body concerning the recent MSU mass shooting, a display of callousness which invoked reprimands en masse. Callousness aside, however, it still shows how pervasive ChatGPT has become in schools, even though it's only been public for about a year. The website is already blocked on most school-controlled devices, with MCPS being a prime example, all Chromebooks having it auto-blocked. And the concern here seems to be that although AI could be helpful in classes, for example, to provide templates or to proofread or propose edits on students' work, the temptation of getting an AI such as ChatGPT to write their essays and homework would be too much for students, resulting in them becoming lazy and not learning core life skills such as writing, research, and critical thinking. Walter Johnson High School English teacher Claire Lipsitz thinks that while she would be cautious about using ChatGPT in her class, it has definite potential.
I think it has some interesting capabilities that could be useful, and also some things that might change the way that we think about teaching and grading in particular.
However, she acknowledges the fact that it's already being misused in schools, an issue which will likely only grow worse over time.
I think there are some concerns about the extent to which students will use it and how they'll use it. So I think we need to find out a little bit more about that.
Lastly, in terms of implementation of AI into the classroom, she's still deciding whether or not that'd work.
Yeah, I think we've talked as an English department a little bit about how we might use it to our benefit, because I don't think it's going away. And so I think we need to kind of figure out how to work with it. And that might look like giving an essay prompt in ChatGPT and then having students analyze what is strong about the essay that's produced versus missing, possibly, like you said, story ideas. I could see people using it in other ways, possibly comparing it to a rubric or something like that. So I haven't quite figured out how I would implement it, but I think that's a possibility.
Jobs and industry. Lastly, AI potential in jobs is huge and will only grow over time. There's a multitude of ways AI could already be integrated into companies. Some of the most obvious include writing code for companies, or generating promotional posts, or giving customers a more personalized and engaging support experience. However, some of the more intriguing extent is streamlining and enhancing processes using automation and brainstorming new business ideas. There is a concern that AI will steal jobs, but as mentioned earlier, that's unlikely to happen too soon. AI still gets things wrong, and still needs human monitoring to ensure correctness. Conclusion. Overall, ChatGPT is a massive step forward in the technology industry, but comes with considerable ramifications, both in the creative and employment fields. Is it truly creating when it generates art, or just stealing? Should it be the next type of journalist, or should it remain in a secondary position? Is this a very good podcast, or is it a great podcast? I leave these questions for the listener to decide, and hope that my humble opinions will help you make a more informed decision. As for the conclusion, ChatGPT recommends the following.
That's all the time we have for today. I want to give a huge thank you to our guest, ChatGPT, for joining us. Over the course of this episode, we learned about ChatGPT's background, its impact on various fields such as art, writing, and education, and how it might be integrated into different jobs. It's truly amazing to see how AI technology like ChatGPT is changing the way we live and work, and it's exciting to think about the possibilities of what the future may hold.
If you enjoy this episode, please consider subscribing to the Internet Cafe and leaving a comment. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.